If I was to tell you the names of my kids and people in my family, Sari, Daniel, Mikael, Lena, Lindsay, Morgan, Hudson, could you remember those? Anybody remember those? If I was to tell you my favorite three bands from the 80s, Journey, Foreigner, Whitesnake, could you remember those? That's good. We got some old timers here. I'm not alone. We talk a lot. We teach a lot. But for me, it's what we emphasize. And for me, the magic number and emphasis is number 3. This is what we can remember. Okay? With us, with our team, we have 3 performance goals, 3 team identities. We talk about 3 keys on our pick and roll defense. We go into a game and we have 3 keys on the board. That's it. 3 keys. Okay? In my life, I've had a lot of 3s. I'm one of 3 kids. I had 3 dogs growing up. When I travel with 3 bags. Okay? And I have 3 kids. I've been married 3 times. The truth. And divorced 3 times. It was about a few months ago, my oldest son came to me and said, Dad, he was together with Fondy for about 7 years. He says, Dad, I kind of lost the spark in our relationship. And I think we're going to break up. And I said, son, let me talk to you about relationships. And he put up his hand and he said, Dad, don't take this the wrong way, but you'll be the last one I ask. I'm not going to talk to you about relationships. I'm going to talk to you about in pursuit of excellence, winning together. Vision. It's not where we are. It's not where we were, but it's where we're going. Okay? When I took this job in September 2021, I had one chance in a press conference to give the vision of where we're going. Okay? I said, we're going to medal 3 years in a row. Who believed me? You're lying. Everybody thought I was crazy. Okay? But I wasn't talking to the public, I was talking to our players. This is where we're going. Okay? And with that, I said we need a 3-year commitment. Okay? We need a 3-year commitment from the players. You're in or you're out. Maybe is not a good answer. Okay? We need a core group going from summer to summer to build, to be successful. Okay? Why do companies not give a vision? They don't give a precise, exact vision. They leave a little bit of wiggle room. Why? Where's the guy that said he thought we were going to win 3 medals in 3 years? Afraid of failure. They leave wiggle room because they're afraid of failure. For me, in life and sports and business, we're dealt with challenges, obstacles, failures all the time. And it's how we deal with them. And for me, we have 3 options. 1, we do nothing. 2, we look out the window, we make excuses, and we blame others. Who's been there? Everybody raise hands, 2 hands, and stretch a little bit. Everybody. See, everybody's been there. Or 3, we can look in the mirror We can take ownership of it, and we can embrace it. Which one works? 3. Easy answer, eh? 3 is the number. Okay. I'll give you 2 examples. Last year in Germany, the Eurobasket 2022, we were playing in Berlin. We had a great game against Greece in the quarterfinals. Unbelievable win, great game. We had to play Spain 2 days later. We lost to Spain. We played one of our worst games. We were just sloppy. Habits weren't good. I came to the locker room afterwards. I didn't know what to say. Well, I can't remember what I said. The next day when I woke up, we had a meeting at 11, and before that meeting I asked myself, did I do everything possible to give us a chance to be successful? And my answer was no. Okay, so I went to that meeting, I took ownership of it, I took blame for the loss, and I laid the groundwork on how we were going to win the bronze medal. And then I took ownership with the press. All right, we had to move on really quickly. And then in 24 hours, we didn't play great, but we found a way and we won the bronze medal. We went out as winners to a certain extent. I'll give you one more example. Last year in the World Cup, first game against Japan, we're up by 18 points. Franz Wagner turns his ankle with 5 minutes to go. Some stupid coach left him in the game up by 20. Okay? So I went to the locker room afterwards. Players had their heads down. We had just won by 20 against the home team, first game. They had their heads down. It was like somebody had died in the room. Again, I didn't know what to say, really. I can't remember what I said. But the next day, we had to lay groundwork on how we're going forward. Next man up mentality. Guys are here for a reason. We'll fight through this, and we'll be better because of it. All right? And then we went on, and people like Isak Bonga, Niels Giffey, Justus Hollitz all stepped up and played great. Okay? And with adversity, if we embrace it and take ownership, it gives us a great chance to get better. Okay? We get nowhere in sport or in business without adversity. And it gives everybody, the most successful people in the world have failed and failed and failed, but they keep going. Second thing, and real important, and for me it's one of the most important things, when we have adversity, when we have failure and obstacles, we find out a lot about the people we're working with. Are they still with us? Are they on the fence, or are they already out the door? We find out a lot about them. And third thing, sometimes as leaders, as coaches, we create adversity. Why? We want to find out how resilient our group is. Are they willing to fight through it? In Canada, we say, do we have fire in the belly? It's a sport, it's a hockey term. Okay? Leadership. I don't know what kind of leader I am now, but I'll tell you, when I started coaching, I wasn't a good leader. I'm an introvert, I'm quiet, was not good with relationships, not good communicating, not good making decisions. Okay? And I knew if I wanted to become a coach, I had to get better. But I'll tell you one thing, leadership, it is in all of us, what I found out. We have to enable it to come out, and then we have to work on it. Okay? And for me, I had to work on it a lot more than others, because it wasn't a natural thing for me to be a leader. I was much more of a follower. Okay? And what I found out with leadership is 6 things on my journey that helped me become a better leader. First time I go over 3 for authentic. Be yourself. You're one of a kind. You're unique. Be you. There's nobody else like you. And when you're not you, what happens? you lose the room. People see right through you. Be yourself. Second thing, vision, what I talked about. Precise, exact, where you're going. Don't be afraid of failure. Put it out there. Failure's good. We don't plan for failure, but failure's good. Core values. We have 3. Trust, respect, commitment. And we have other ones that get us there. Transparency, communication. But if I was to tell you we have 8 core values, could you remember those? No. If I was to tell you 3, trust, respect, and commitment, could you remember those? Yeah. So these are our core values. Who sets the example of core values that we want as a team in business? Who sets the example? It was a good party last night, eh? I wasn't invited, so I didn't. Yes, we set the example. Leaders, coaches, coaching staff, we set the example. We cannot expect people who work for us or players to have these core values if we don't set the example. Okay? And then when we set the example, it comes from all areas. It becomes dynamic. Okay? With core value, and when I talk about culture, what is culture? We talk about championship culture with us. Sometimes in business, they talk about winning culture. Culture for us, well, our culture was vision, core values, and then we have one more, which was our best players were our most competitive. Our players 10, 11, and 12 had tremendous attitudes, great teammates, very good in the locker room. This was our core value. Vision, core values, competitiveness, and great attitude. This was our culture. All right? Is a culture dynamic or static? Multiple choice. Dynamic or static? Dynamic. Yes. It comes from everywhere. It comes every day. And when we have a culture, everybody's part of it. It's dynamic and it comes from all directions. Relationships. Like I said, I wasn't good at relationship building. That's probably why I was divorced 3 times too. But when I got this job, I went around and met 35 to 40 German players. I wanted to develop relationships with them because once we started in the summer, there was no time to develop anymore. We had to build relationships then. It's the same in business. Leaders need to develop relationships with the people they work with. Because one of our core values was trust. How do we get trust and respect? Through relationships. Atmosphere. Does the atmosphere you work in breathe success, positivity, energy? Or does it breathe negativity and jealousy? Who sets that? We do. It's good answers are all the same. So we set that. If we don't want energy, enthusiasm where we work, and we don't breathe it, how can we expect others to have it? And then it becomes dynamic. Empower others. What I learned is really empower others, give others opportunity. I love to be around people, and my coaching staff is creative, and they think outside the box, and they're not yes people. We empower others to do things. And when you empower others, you create psychological safety, where people are not afraid to come to you and talk to you about things. All right? Psychological safety. I'll give you one example of it. Before the Serbian game, the World Cup final, this was the last one we had. Daniel, we gave the game plan to the players on that Saturday morning after we beat United States Friday night. We were up all night, coaches. We gave a game plan to the players how we're going to beat Serbia. Then we had an optional shoot-around. At that optional shoot-around, Daniel Tice told Brett Breimeyer, one of our assistant coaches, Coach, I think the game plan, we didn't really understand a couple things. And so Brett came to me and told me this, and then we fixed it the next day with a meeting before we played Serbia. You know, psychological safety. He wasn't afraid to come to a coach and coach blast him or say something to him. They felt comfortable. All right? I'll give you 3 things. That's 6. I'll give you 3 things on leadership, what I believe, which condenses this. Vision, direction, support. Vision, where we're going. Direction, empower others. Support, we're there if needed. Leadership. But what I found out, the difference between a great leader and a good leader. Open door policy. I learned my door's open. People can come in and talk to me. I'm there. I don't come in and close my door. My door's open. They don't see my phone. Second thing, what I found out from when I was in Finland, I talked to a company. I talked to some people about 3 leaders they had. I asked which one was better. And you know what their answer was? They said, yeah, I like Errol. We think Errol's better. And I asked why. Because he talks to us, he communicates, he got to know us. We felt valued. Little people matter in the companies. IT people, janitors, they matter. And they help build the culture you want. Third thing, if I walk by you and I say, how are you doing today? Did you have a good day yesterday? If you ask a question, stop and engage, or don't ask a question. How many times, especially in North America, you're in how many Americans we have here? This question's for you guys. I walk by you and I say, how are you doing today? No. Hi, have a nice day. If you're going to ask a question, stop and engage. How are you doing today?
You would answer. In Europe, you'd expect an answer. In America, it's just
Superficial. I just think if you're going to ask a question, engage, or don't ask a question. Life's a mountain, not a beach. I believe we have 3 things in us becoming who we are. Nature, nurture, the investment we make in our own self-development. Which one can we control? No. Self-development. It's always number 3. Multiple choice. The investment we make in our self-development. And I say, life's a mountain. Are we climbing the mountain? Are we striving to get better? Are we learning? Are we adapting? Are we down on the beach? We feeling good about ourselves? We're complacent. Our choice. Our choice. Who are the most dangerous people in the world? Besides our friend to the east. People who know everything. People who think they know everything are the most dangerous people in the world. But I say, life's a mountain, not a beach. Our landscape's changing. For us, analytics is really important. In sport, come into it. In business, AI is coming in. And the biggest word I learned was, Are we recreating ourselves? Are we learning? Are we adapting? Are we getting better? Hey, we need to recreate ourselves. Things change. The landscape's changing daily. Boom. We need to recreate ourselves. When I got this job, how I recreated myself, I was stagnant. I went around and met with coaches. Hey, I watched practice. I talked to people. I recreated myself. Okay? And what I do now, as a coach, I did very little 5 years ago. What I do now as a coach, I did nothing when I started coaching. What I do now. We're in the process of building habits. All right? Process of building habits. Hey, step by step. Hey, we can't go here. This doesn't work. All right? Hey, right now we're here. Right now we're here. All right? We got to take one step at a time. One step at a time to get it. We can't. Hey, there's no shortcuts. Right? We got work to do, habits to build. It's a process. How do we go back? No, I just believe that step by step, it's the process we go. Okay? And I use like life's a mountain where an escalator coming down, we're walking up that escalator. Okay? And what happens if we stop walking? We come right down to the bottom, we're on the beach. Okay? The beach is average. I use the stairway. I call it the stairway to heaven. Who sings that? Led Zeppelin, good. This side's a little bit older than that side. What I call defining moments in the journey, where we're going. There's two types, in my opinion. One is process-oriented. It's people. It involves people. The other one is product-oriented, where you reach your goal or you don't reach your goal, and you look back on things that happened. Product-oriented, okay? The product-oriented ones we had, for example, were we lost the United States in an exhibition game, but we knew we could beat them. We lost Franz Wagner to an injury, but that really helped us going forward. We didn't know at that time. But for me, we don't get there without the process-oriented. Okay? And these are people-oriented. And the product-oriented you see later. The process, the human element ones happen right now. You see it, you feel it, and you hear it. Okay? And these are defining moments going forward. Okay? I'll give you this one, too. We showed up to camp last summer, and I asked the players to come in good shape. They came in great shape. By day 2, we were playing 5-on-5. Right then, I knew we had a chance to be a good team. It was right then when I saw the players, defining moment. The second one, 5 days later, we played Sweden in a practice game. We didn't play well. I think we were losing with 5 minutes to go against Sweden. I didn't know Sweden played basketball before that. So we played Sweden, and we ended up winning. But at the end of the game, our players stayed on the floor in Bonn for an hour and a half signing autographs for the kids. In their jerseys, sweating, still on the floor. Never seen that in 30 years. Never seen it before with a team, with an athletic team. Right then, I knew we had a chance to be great because what type of people they were and how they cared for each other and for the fans, for the kids. I knew right then the caring effect. We had a chance to be great. You don't get to the product-defining moments without the process, the people-oriented moments. You don't get there. There is I in team. Who believes in this? We're the Americans. I like them. Don't take. There is I in team. Who believes in this besides me? All right. For 30 years, coaches told me and I told players there is no I in team. Phil Jackson, one of the most famous basketball coaches in the States, told Michael Jordan there's no I in team. What did Michael say? Yes, there is I in win. I was with Peter Jensen, a sports psychologist in Canada, a few years ago. I worked with him with Basketball Canada. And I said, Peter, there's no I in team. And he said, yes, Gordy, there is I in team. We need the individual talents, but we need to develop the team mentality first. Very important. We need individual talents. We pick players to camp because they're individual talents. You get jobs or you pick people to come to your company because of your individual talents. Now we have to make a team out of those individuals. Extremely important. And how do we do that? And we tell our players, one alone cannot reach greatness. Together, united as one, we can. Together, united as one, we can. Hey, everybody put your fists together. Take one finger out. See how much weaker that becomes? That's all it takes. Take two out. Any strength left? No. We call that group strength. This is how we want to be. Who plays golf? That's it. The Germans work too hard, I'm telling you. You got to be like the French. You work 4 hours in the morning, you go drink wine at lunch and go have a nap and then go play golf. How many French do we have here? Sorry, I love your culture though. I lived there 3 years, I love it. I learned to drink wine and eat cheese. Ryder Cup is for the Americans here. Europe has won 9 out of the last 12 Ryder Cups. Europe has won. Europe comes like this and they become like this. United States comes like this and they get a little bit wider. Who has the better players? U.S. Who's the better team? Yes. United together as one, we can win. And to me, that says a lot right there. United States won 3 times just because of their individual talents. And that can happen. In business, it doesn't happen very often. Okay? And we say, oh, go on. What do you think my golf handicap is? Who said 3? Good, come on up here. Give you a shirt. There you go.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Pretty honored.
Do you have kids? No?
Not sweet.
You don't have any kids? No? You can give that to some kids.
I know so.
Thank you. But we say we have a bunch of individuals and how we make a team. For me, it's one of our biggest challenges as a coach. And as biggest challenge as leaders in companies. How do we make a team? We go into coaches' meetings and we say we can agree to disagree. When we come out of there, we're a team. We cannot expect our players to become a team if we're not a team. Players need to see a team, what a team looks like, because they're a bunch of individuals. Okay? Same in business. You got 3 leaders in a company, and they come out and they're all over the place. You can't expect your workers to be a team if they're not a team. Okay? A coach told me one time when I played for the Canadian national team, said, "Fake it until you make it." That's what he said. Okay? You got to show it. Okay? And for me, becoming a team, we all wait too long. We wait till there's a crisis, then we decide, well, we got to do some team working, team building. It's too late. Okay? We say we're gonna get to a team as soon as possible. We spend too much time picking a team instead of building a team. We want to get to 12 players and build a team. Okay? And now team building starts from day one. Day one, it starts. Different things we do, okay? On the floor, in the classroom, off the floor, bowling, playing darts, okay? Tug of wars, different things. Okay? We create stuff. We're trying to become a team. Why do we do team building? Create confidence within the group. Okay? People can support each other when things aren't going well. You know you have somebody's back. That's why we do team building, to bring everybody together. Okay? Where there's communication, help. Communication brings everybody together. Give us some. And not an easy situation, very difficult. And we need players who can impact the game without scoring. That makes sense? We need players who can impact the game without scoring. We only got one ball. We got 5 guys on the floor. We need guys who can impact the game without scoring. And I think it's really important in business too. You have different people within your group. They've got impact situations in different ways. Okay? You can't have 5 leaders in a group. You need some Indians. Racehorse. What does this mean? What's this about? No idea, no idea, no idea. Our coach, our physical coach made this shirt. It's a racehorse body and a pig head. When we talked about racehorses and pigs. This is about roles. Roles on the team and how we define roles. So I meet with every individual and I define roles with them, what their roles is. Before that, we have 3 non-negotiables. Defend position, rebound position, execute half-court offense. You can't do those 3, you can't play. Now, I don't know what you have in your business if you have some non-negotiables. I don't know. But we have 3 non-negotiables. And then we have specific roles where I sit down with each player and I tell them what their role is. And then we go in a group and I tell each player what his role is to everybody else. We're all on the same page. Okay? We're all on the same page. And then we talk about racehorses and pigs. Our pigs are guys who impact the game, do little things great, don't need to score to be successful. Extremely important. Big thing though, pigs cannot try to be racehorses. Our racehorses are elite players. For example, we have Schroeder and Franz Wagner. I got to say Franz because Mo thinks he's a racehorse. I got to keep telling him he's not a racehorse. Okay? So we have those are our racehorses. But the real key in any sports team, and I think in any business team, is your racehorses do pig work. And you look at some successful, some great players, doesn't matter what sport, elite players, they don't do pig work. Their teams don't win. Their teams don't win. Who likes hockey? Who knows who Leon Draisaitl is? Good. I asked my team that 2 years ago. They only about 3 hands went up. One of the best players in the world. And this is just my opinion. Don't tell Leon this, but it's my opinion. Great player, did not do the dirty work. Same with Connor McDavid, 2 of the best players in the world. Now they're doing dirty work, and they're in the Stanley Cup Finals. It took them about 4 or 5 years to understand that. Okay. We had one player, JT Tiemann from Berlin, and I asked him, are you a racehorse or pig? And he said, Coach, I think I'm 50-50. And I said, no, JT, you're a pig. I said, you're a racehorse in Berlin, but now when you come to the national team, you need to be a pig like you were in Ludwigsburg. Do dirty work, physical, play defense, rebound, you can impact the game without scoring. This is what we need. Okay? And he was able to do it. He played great. Team identity. I put 3 headings on the board and we pick our team identity. For me, this is one of the most important things we do. This is more important than our goal and our performance goals. This is how we feel as a group and what the outside sees. Feel as a group and what the outside sees. And this was our identity. Toughness, communication, enjoy togetherness. Okay? And people who saw us play related our team to the 2014 World Champion soccer team, German team. Just with the identity. Never give up, resilient, play hard, play together. And you see any really good team, you see an identity. You see a really good company, you see an identity. If I was going to ask you what the identity of SNP is, what would you tell me?
Winning together.
Winning together. Oh, you're cheating. You looked at the board. Anybody else? What's the identity? Trust? Work ethic? Communication? Trust? Community excellence. Good. Anything else? Togetherness? Great. All right. Non-measurable. What we feel and what others see. I'm going to show you something, and I want you to tell me which team identity you see in this team. What identity did you see? Enjoy togetherness. That was real key for us. That when people enjoy coming to work, enjoy being together, enjoy coming to a work environment, you have a chance to be much more successful. I'd rather try to tame a lion than teach a cat how to roar. What's this about?
Make a racehorse a pig.
Make a racehorse a pig. Good idea, but we have competitive players. You're in a competitive business. We want people who compete, who work hard, compete. What happens when you compete? You have a bunch of people who are competing. You're going to have conflicts. It's just the way it is. And I would rather have competitive players and have to bring them down a little bit. Rather try to tame a lion a little bit than try to teach a cat how to roar. Very difficult. What's the one word in sport, business, that causes conflicts? Arrogance, that's a good one, but it's not the one I'm looking for, but that's very good. Ego, good. Jealousy. Workplace, sport, everything. Relationships. We had a conflict against Slovenia game. First quarter, we're down by 15 points. Two players argued, then me and myself and a player. Down by 15 points, we ended up winning by 29 against one of the best teams in the world. If we were not a team, we would have lost by 29. All right? So I sat down the two best players, the two players that argued on the bench, and I didn't put them back in the game until they were standing up supporting their teammates. I'll tell you, an interesting thing happened at halftime. I didn't know, but at halftime, the players went to the locker room. They locked the door. They didn't let the coach, they didn't let the physios in, the doctors, the managers. They locked the door. After this, they talked it out. They figured it out together because we had high standards. And they held each other to their high standards. They were not going to let this affect us going forward. And when I came into that room at halftime, sometimes you come into a room, you read the room, so to speak, see what's going on. Going into that room, I had no idea what I was going to see. But I had heads up, eye contact, positivity, and I just went forward. But, you know, it worked out itself. But I say three things for a problem in company, sport. What's the problem? What caused the problem? How do we fix the problem? If I come to you and I say, boy, oh boy, I really don't like your work ethic. I don't like your attitude. You're always late. And now we got this problem. Are you going to talk to me? Probably not. If I come to you and I say, you're doing a great job today. I really like your work ethic. You're always on time. Tremendous person. But now we have this problem. Can we talk about it? Sure. Okay. For me, it's a big thing to handle this. What's the one word we don't say enough in conflicts?
Sorry.
Very good. I'm sorry. I made a mistake. What? I'm sorry. It cleanses the body. It cleanses the body. All right? This is what we use. The pressure cannot exceed the pleasure of the journey. We want to enjoy what we're doing. The trust and respect we develop within. All right, it's just been freaking unbelievable.
I'm relieved you're showing some emotion. You're so focused and so intentional. I'm relieved you're showing some emotion, man. That's incredible, man. Thank you.
No, we really tried to create an atmosphere where we enjoy what we're doing. And we said the pressure cannot exceed the pleasure. We got to enjoy what we're doing, but we're going to have pressure. And people ask me about this picture a lot, and I just say that you know, I was looking for a chair. I ended up sitting on the floor, lying down. And then two young ladies came down from the stands. They asked me if I needed CPR. So I woke up. People ask me what's kind of changed in my life. I had a nice meeting with Chancellor Schultz in Berlin at the end of February. It was a very 40-minute meeting, personal meeting. It was very, very interesting for me, being with a world leader. I was a big fan of Merkel. I thought she was one of the best leaders in the world that we've had in a long time. Outside of Germany, that's the opinion. But probably the biggest thing that's changed for me is now the Germans know Herbert's my last name, not my first name. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Well, I already mentioned it in the beginning that I think you're a very inspiring person, and now I can even tell that more. It was a very inspiring speech for me personally, and I think, well, part of them I don't need them because there's so many more questions, but let's have 3. But please allow me one additional question before I go to the 3. Is there any better word for pigs?
You can't use that in a company, sorry.
Yeah, I was visioning myself telling somebody in my team, "Hey, you're a perfect pig." I don't see myself doing that.
The first time I talked about pigs and racehorses, it was kind of funny. The athletic coach came to me after I talked about it. I just kind of mentioned it. We have pigs and racehorses, this and that. And I guess the players all went and talked, and they kind of asked each other, "What do you think? Am I a pig or a racehorse?" No, but yeah, there's probably a better word.
So you talked about values and culture and communication, respect. We mentioned excellence as one of our core values. But how do you make sure, specifically in a heterogeneous team, and I also have a heterogeneous team, and I believe that this is very important to have different characters within a team, but how do you make sure that everybody has the same understanding of what respect, communication, and excellence also means?
It's a good question. I just think we set the example what we want as leaders, and we resonate it daily throughout the group we are with. And I think when you pick a team, our players, for example, are better people than players. And I really don't have to worry about the trust and respect and this and that because they're great people. And sometimes we fall off the boat a little bit. And we have to throw a life jacket to them a little bit, so to speak, and see if they grab it and pull it back in. But we throw it one time. But we have a bunch of individuals, just like in business, and it's really important to get on the same page and where we're going. And that, for me, that comes with a vision and communication.
Mm-hmm. All right, thank you. And how do you balance being a strong leader, but also allowing team members to have autonomy?
Yeah, I think the one thing we've really developed is psychological safety. You know, we give a vision where we're going, but with the national team, we're together for a short period of time. Players are sacrificing their time. They're away from their families. They're not getting paid. They do get paid a lot of money, though, Jesus. But, you know, we try to develop psychological safety where they're in the group and we can enjoy what we're doing, but they have a voice. They have a voice, and when there's issues, they're not afraid to come give us the voice, give us an opinion. Because a lot of times we learn a lot from players. As leaders, we learn a lot from the people we work with. And we need to be good listeners. And I think at leadership, one of the biggest things is being able to listen. I'm not sure if I answered your question, but...
So one last question. You have reached all that, which is just huge. So you are here, peak performance. How, from this position, how do you motivate the team now for the next championship?
This is the biggest issue I have going forward, and it's same in business. When you accomplish something really good and you reach your goals and something great, now you got to move on to the next step. And I say, we can feel good about what we accomplished, be on the beach, so to speak, feel good about what we accomplished, or we can build on what we accomplished. And to me, the biggest thing going forward is the mindset. We have to create a different mindset on how we're going to go forward, why we're going forward, and where we're going. It's the mindset. And for me, and I say this, when you accomplish something great, who's your biggest opponent? Yourself. Very good. Our biggest opponent is us. And that starts with the mindset that we want to accomplish something else. We want to build on what we've done. The biggest opponent, people ask me about Serbia or United States or France going to the Olympics. I say, no, our biggest opponent is us. Good.
Well, I promised only 3 questions because I could go on like hours and hours. I hope you have taken as much as I did. We are way over time already, so I will close it here. Thank you so much for everything. I hope you took as much as I did. And having said this, I will hand over to Yasmin somewhere. Thank you. Thank you, Gordon.
Thank you.